Hi, Jamie McIntyre here. So let's get down to business, and I'll share with you some, concepts and strategies that, as an educator and financial educator for the last 15 years, I've shared many of the things that have worked for me that I learned 20 years ago off my first millionaire mentor. And then we'll lead into how you can apply these same strategies to your life wherever you're at. As looking back, and certainly in my life, when I first learnt these strategies and concepts, I was, as I said, almost 150,000 in debt and close to bankruptcy, and I had no money. So all these strategies work for whatever financial position you're in. If some people say, well, what have I got no money? Will it work? Well, I wish I was starting at zero 20 years ago, as well below that. So it doesn't really matter where you are financially right now in your life. These strategies work, and they've worked for tens and tens of thousands of people. So let's take a look at it. What I often teach is that jot this, you think about this word, the word is synergy. And if you want to become wealthy, and it doesn't matter in what you want to do in any endeavor, synergy is the key that really worked for me. If you want to reduce the amount of time it takes to go from point A to point B, the ability to compress decades of knowledge, but also compress decades as far as the time it takes to go from point A and point B being where you want to be financially and the quality of life. You really need to take advantage of synergy. And synergy, I guess, is 1 + 1 equals more than 2. 1 + 1, when you combine a strategy with another one, you're going to often get there quicker. And as I illustrate this, you'll see exactly what I mean and why at 21st Century Education, this opportunity you have to learn with our e-learning programs and also apply the business opportunity to what you're learning is so remarkably unique. And I'm so excited how it works and what it's going to do for people, not just individuals, but right around the world. So let's take a look at this. So what you do, most of us start with a job, true? And many of you watching this now might have a job, and whether you're satisfied or not with your job, most people are unsatisfied with their job. And that's one of the reasons they're not wealthy. They don't enjoy what they do. So as you become a part of these e-learning programs with 21st Century Education, if you're the strategy you're going to learn, what you want to focus on. A lot of people just want to quit their job as quickly as possible. It's not always, I guess, the best necessary strategy. What you want to do is, we're going to teach you, as you're doing the programs, how to negotiate a pay rise. Because what we want to do is improve your income to start with. Because this is the typical way most people become wealthy, is from their income they save money and they invest it. Where do you think? Where do they invest? Of course, into real estate. Now, I don't care if it's just in Australia or in America or many countries in Western societies. If people save up the surplus income and invest in real estate, and over time, generally real estate will go up in value. Of course, there's been some anomalies of that with the US property market, where it's crashed since 2006, but that's giving a lot of buying opportunities as well. But particularly in Australia and other countries, we're seeing generally over time appreciation of that. So that's another way. So this is probably the most common way in a Western world people become wealthy. Taking their job income surplus and buying property, and over a long period of time they create wealth. I've helped many people. I was taught buy 2 properties and 10 years time they double, and you can basically build a significant retirement income out of it. The other thing I learned after that was to invest other areas really in the stock market. So I learned a strategy where I could pull out some equity out of my properties that I started building almost 20 years ago, and I could do particular strategies in the stock market. Now in our e-learning programs, you're going to learn specific strategies on these where you can generate cash flow, such as renting shares. It's a terminology as an educator that I created for particular strategies. And now is very mainstream and has been enormously successful at helping people generate instant cash flow, because real estate generally might be a longer term strategy. And that's why not everyone does it when they should. It might take 10 years to create some wealth, and a lot of wealth over 15, 20 years can be created. But here's some strategy you can generate instant cash flow. So they're effectively 3 ways. Now the only other way is to build a business. So I guess you could add in here is you can turn your job into a business. And I've founded over a dozen companies in the last 20 years, so I learnt a lot about business. So if you look at how I've created my wealth, it's originally starting with a job, learning how to get a pay rise, pour surplus cash into real estate and buy and hold that for a long period of time. I've also then used the stock market to pull some of that equity out and generate additional cash flow, but also built businesses. And I continue to do this, and particularly in businesses and real estate is where I focus most of the time. And that's been very effective at developing diversified income. These are all the things you're going to learn as part of the 21st Century e-learning programs to know how to specifically do this. But then what happened is the internet was born. And that gave us another opportunity. So I've also built, thanks to the internet, successful businesses. And you could add on here, I guess, the fourth way is the internet. And that's what I'm excited about, because in this opportunity, you are now going to have the opportunity to develop a significant income that is quite instant, where unlike real estate, you might have to wait that 10-year period to see the really significant gains, is that you can generate cash flow pretty much in 30, 60 days for many people that could be equivalent or greater to their current job at this point. So effectively that gives us 4 ways to create wealth. And I'm going to suggest by using synergy, now you don't have to do all of them. You might just be happy to go, you know what, I just want to start in business, but I don't want a traditional business, because a traditional business could cost you $500,000 for a franchise, or then you have to employ staff and manage staff and the overhead and the time with that. And a lot of people don't have $500,000 to start. So that's what's appealing about the internet. Is that it's very low cost. For instance, the internet business with 21st Century e-network, for as little as $27, you can be underway and have your website and a blog, and away you go, and you'll be trained in how to build an internet business. So it gives us quite an opportunity to drive our income and use many of these methods. Does that make sense? So let's now focus on the internet business in particular as a way that you might want to consider as another form of income, and you might want to consider with what we're doing with 21st Century. And I'm excited by what we've done here and what we've accomplished in the last 15 years with impacting through the education, but now to create a business model that is remarkably breakthrough and leading edge in what's possible with the internet, and to help us spread the 20th century education around the world. So I guess the future is the internet. Most people will move from, if you go back to the 1800s, majority of people were self-employed. They basically were farmers. And industrialization age meant people needed to be trained in a 19th century school, conformity, and be trained to be employees, go and work in a factory production line. And people moved to cities. Now what's changed in the 21st century, the trend's going to go back the other way, where thanks to the internet, people will derive, most people in the future will derive their income from the internet. And they won't necessarily have to go to a job or into the CBD of a city to work in a head office. And that trend's already starting. So the key is you want to be ahead of trends. And that's what I talk about, particular merging of trends here that you want to know about. A lot of my wealth has been created through business, has been smart enough to preempt and see a trend and get in. If trend is your friend, and be flowing with the trend, but ahead of time. Don't wait till everyone jumps on the bandwagon of a trend. Get in earlier and you can benefit from that. So a trend is that more and more people are looking for income opportunities to work from the internet, and most incomes in the future, people will be consultants or contractors or individual businesses generating income from the internet. So if we look at the internet, I wrote an article recently on 21st Century News that was talking about is the future of business, successful businesses are all about how to build a business by giving something away for free, and how you can build an extraordinary business by doing that. And the internet has made that possible. Let me give you some examples you know about. Google as an example. I mean, how much have you paid Google to search on Google? Absolutely nothing. Yet they've built a multi-billion-dollar company by effectively creating a product that they don't even charge for. Yet, of course, we know indirectly they generate revenue from advertising. So what we're going to look at is what we call an indirect model. And this is one of the things that we want to look at in the world of business, is that many people think if they're going to start an internet business or any business, they're so focused on a direct type model where they just try and sell something, and that's why they fail and they quit and they go back to their job. And they never get to live the extraordinary quality of life that they could if they had that breakthrough, or willing to be open-minded or smart enough to do the shortcut to success. And then the shortcut to success is find someone that's already achieving the results you want, whether that be in real estate, stock market, particular career or industry, or in the internet business. So when I first made my first million from the internet business, I did that purely because one of my friends I'd heard was making $90,000 a month on the internet. This is many years ago. So I went and wanted to know how he was doing it, because I had no idea. I thought the internet, I didn't know how to make money on the internet. So I went and learned off him, and I was able to apply it to numerous different businesses and generate a lot of income. And it's the same thing. So if you're not sure how to do something, be smart enough to learn, and that's the power of e-learning, off others who have a PhD in results that can show you how to go about doing this. So the indirect model, another one to give an example, Facebook. I'm sure you have a Facebook account, and how much you pay every month to use Facebook. Of course, you pay nothing. It's a model that's being built on giving you something for free, adding massive value, and you don't have to pay for it. Indirectly, as we know, Facebook generates its revenues through advertising. Now, this isn't necessarily a new model. It's a new model for the internet. You might be familiar with TV, free-to-air TV. How to free-to-air TV produce or buy the rights to expensive TV shows to entertain you for free. And then, as we know, we watch TV, and then we have to hide to bitch and moan about the TV ads. Yet we know indirectly there's no such thing as a free lunch. We get that entertainment for free, but they have to be able to sell TV ads in order to pay and hopefully make a profit. So the indirect model is a very successful model that's been used in business before the internet, and certainly now with the internet, it's a critical way to do it. So what we're going to do if you want to build a business is that what you want to really do is not trying to sell a product up front. It's a little bit like if you're going to go out on a date. You don't try and close the deal necessarily on the first date, or even before you take someone on a date. If you want to use that metaphor, you want to build a relationship, build trust, build accountability, build reliability, and build that you can add value to someone's life in some way. So indirectly, what you want to do, business, and you've heard it before, is all about building relationships. So let's stick to that rule on the internet. So what you want to do is build up a following. Now, with Facebook and social media, it's become so much easier for the average person to build up a following. Some people say, you've probably heard of blogging and things like that. And a lot of people go, well, I don't know how to blog. Well, if you've got a Facebook account, you're a blogger. If you post something on Facebook, you've just blogged something about your life, and you would have a following. Now, the more popular, the more friends you might have, or Facebook friends, and the more people that follow what you do. And some of these things you might blog about just might be every part of your life. So we've seen what you can do now is you build a following. Now, in my businesses, I've built a significant following over the last 15 years, and how I do that is, even to this day, I'm effectively a blogger. I write articles, and we have a blogging on steroids, which is our 21st century news site, which is an independent news site, which provides dozens and dozens of educational or news articles every day. So we're putting a lot of information out there, and that spreads it out to our following, and that spreads to more and more people that are getting value from that education. And it builds a better following. And same with Facebook and Twitter and these things, where you're building a relationship with a large amount of people. So as a result, a website, and with this business, you'll be given a website and blog, which is pre-set up, that will have a feed for our 21st century news feed. So you won't even have to do anything in that regard, and it will be fed articles every day, updated on your website, that's spreading your business out there in the internet world. You'll also be able to have a feed that will go into your site of success stories. Every day it'll be fed with new and new success stories. So people traveling on the internet that come across your particular site will be able to see success stories of people that have taken this education and made a difference to their life, or become involved in the e-network business opportunity and made significant money. And as a result of that, they're more inclined to want to find out more about the information. Plus, you'll be able to post your own blogs. And you say, well, how do I blog? Well, you're just basically going to write about things, or take the existing articles that are made available for you and post them. And what this does is, your goal is not in an e-network type business, is to necessarily go out to meetings and know people and harass your friends to join something. You're going to be given a website, and you'll be shown how to drive traffic to your website. Now, how much does it cost to drive traffic? Well, there's two ways to do that. You can get free traffic, organic traffic, or you can get paid traffic. And I'm not going to go into all the details of that right now, but obviously, to give you a clue, if you're starting a business with low budget, and you don't want to have to pay much for advertising, you get a lot of free traffic, or regardless you'll be getting free traffic. But by blogging and having this site set up and spreading the word, then more and more people come to your website. Now what happens from there is you're building a following. You're not trying to necessarily sell people straight away. You're building a following of adding value, of education and information that can improve their life in some way. Now what will happen out of that is a percentage of that traffic will want to get started in the business. And from as little as $27, they can get started in enrolling in some of our e-learning educational programs and start learning to improve their life in some way. They also, if they wish to build a business and add this fourth income that I showed you back here, this internet income, this fourth income to the strategies they'll be learning through the 21st century e-learning, then they can also join and enroll as a result to doing that, and you're going to earn income. So to give an example, what we've done to really, I guess, make it as lucrative as possible is say, you know what, our goal is really to reach, as I said, 1 million and then 10 million and ultimately 100 million people or more. So we're happy to entice you to want to be involved and help spread the message and help us achieve our mission of making 21st century education available around the world and give you as much as 100% in commissions. Now, if we could give you 101%, we would certainly do that. That's not possible. 100% is max, but for your very first sale, you will earn 100%. And as a result of that, even if it's just on a $27 level program, then that's still an extra $27 a month. But this is a recurring income because it's, if they choose, your customer or chooses to continue to get access to that education, they'll pay that $27 every month, and that will be an email that you'll get to your account saying you just made a sale and there's $27, and that will go automatically into your back office system, and you'll be able to transfer that to your bank account whenever you feel like you need that money transferred. So it's incredibly simple in that regard. So you're saying, Jamie, hang on a minute, are you saying that I could build an additional income on top of all these strategies I'm going to learn by enrolling in these e-learning courses and learn at my own pace? But I can build an internet business, and the training will also teach me how to do this and drive traffic to my site, so I don't have to go out there and ring 100 friends and harass 99 of them. And you don't have to go to all these meetings, etc. You can just sit at home on top of the other things, do some blogging, or let the automatic blog feeds do a lot of it for you. And as a result of that, people start being part of this system. Exactly, that's how it works. And the better you get at that, the more income you can earn. But a lot of people won't just want to start at $27. They might want to upgrade to the other educational programs, and we have a $97 a month program. And this program, to give an example, this program that they access for $97 a month has been selling in the marketplace for over a decade for over $4,000. Yet you'll be able to have those type programs that already sell in the marketplace at the same price or less. In this case, this particular program, way less. So massive value that people have been paying thousands and thousands of dollars for a fraction of that. So you have a genuine business where it's had 15 years of proven track record out there in the marketplace that you can make available via your website, which is all set up for you, by the way. As soon as you enroll at the $27 a month program, you'll get the blogging system and website, and away your business goes. Now, as far as in the last 15 years, as I mentioned perhaps before, you might have seen it, that we've had incredible lecturers come and teach and share their knowledge at our programs. People such as Sir Richard Branson, the billionaire founder of Virgin Group of companies. You think he might know a thing or two on business and his experience and how he's been successful at. When people such as Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's probably the most overachievers on the planet. They didn't just become a world champion bodybuilding, but then went and did it. Many people don't realize before he made even his big money, become one of the highest Hollywood actors. At the time, he was the highest, and that was a goal that he had. He made his first $1 million through real estate in the United States. So he's a very big believer in these strategies. He self-educated himself, exactly what I'm teaching you here to do. And he self-educated himself, invested, and as a result of him, as an example, being successful in real estate, he was able to wait and take the best paying roles as an actor, where other actors had to take any role and often didn't excel and achieve as much because they were desperate for money and they didn't do and set themselves up what you can do by learning and replicating the things that successful people have done. Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Workweek, a great lecture on how to be more proficient with your time and more effective and have an amazing lifestyle. Harry Dent, as far as a leading US economist. All these types of people that have been some of the speakers at our events. So the quality of education you're going to get access. You can get access to all of this. So as you progress, people, your clients and yourself will want to continue to educate yourself. So I guess we've created a very good motto is that this gives you the opportunity to learn while you earn. And while you're learning and developing your modern day 20th century education to help you and your family, you're getting 100% commission from an internet business. If that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. I'm very excited about the opportunity and inviting you to join us, and I look forward to seeing you at some of the live events around the world and welcome you to the 21st century family. And I encourage you to help us achieve our mission of taking a e-learning 20th century education to the world. Talk to you soon.